Chicago.
Boom, it looks like everybody on the inside kind of got a jump, but look at Corin Todd on the outside.
Oh, Corin Todd with the stud boy hole shot, I believe.
Yeah, but look out front, it's Tremblay.
Tremblay out like a cannon.
Look at Lemieux, right around the outside of his teammate.
The teammates battles, they head for the AMSOIL finish line, and 3 sleds hooked up right in front of us. We'll talk about that in a second. Tucker Hibbert, one of them, but the battle out front, it's now Tremblay into the lead.
Down to the far part of the
racetrack. There goes Lemieux.
Go.
Now look, that's Corin Todd right there getting on his sled.
It was Corin
Ryan
Todd,
Springer, but
Ryan
Tucker
Springer
is still not on his sled.
Yeah,
Here's the battle for the lead.
Tucker's got his tether wrapped up, finally got squared away, now gets back on the racetrack, but he almost went down a lap because of the fact that the Shearing Speed Sport sleds, Tremblay and Lemieux, just about lapped Tucker. He involved in a 3-sled incident, got tied up and just shook free.
Not the way Tucker wanted to start round 14 after what happened in round 13. Out front, though, the exact other story. Tim Tremblay out front with Lincoln Lemieux right behind him. There's Tucker.
Right behind him, you know. Steve Shearing's got to be so happy with the way that these two guys work together on the racetrack. Granted, they had the incident in Michigan, but they're through with that. Now they're just out racing, and they are both racing very aggressive, finding great lines in the racetrack, doing a great job running 1 and 2.
Sometimes you don't see the true mettle of a team until they face adversity like that, Mike. They came through with shining colors, and right now Tim Tremblay chasing a lapper named Tucker Hibbert. That's your leader right there.
Hibbert looks over his shoulder. He doesn't want to go down a lap. And he's, you know, even to try to move up a position, he's 8 seconds behind 6th place Corin Todd. But your leaders out front, Tremblay, Lemieux, then Corey Watkinson, Zach Patton running in 4th. Then it's Renheim, Corin Todd, Tucker Hibbert, and Ryan Springer.
So your leader right there, Tim Tremblay, right now an almost 2-second lead over Lincoln Lemieux, his teammate. Talked to Lincoln Lemieux earlier today. He loves the technicality of this racetrack. You can see Tim Tremblay does as well. Mike, you talked about it in round 13. A track with this kind of technicality, with these kind of rhythm sections, somebody as strong as Tim Tremblay, it really works for him, doesn't it?
He is a big, big, strong Canadian. There you see a little bobble, but gathered it right back up. But yet you look at his teammate, Lincoln Lemieux, who's not quite as big in stature, but Lincoln says he works hard to stay in shape. And he went so far to say the reason he hasn't been injured is because he's in such good shape. So it goes to show how important being conditioned as an athlete, and this Shearing Speed Sport team does that. They're great athletes.
What a great shot that was. Huge air for both those sleds. And by the way, Lincoln Lemieux trimmed a half-second off the lead on that lap, Mike.
Tremblay out in front yet, watching the running order. Nobody really moving around here. Hibbert stuck in 7th.
Let's go down to Carly Applin. She's right by the racetrack. Carly.
This corner right behind me, this flat corner, has been a concern for all of the riders. They said in the last round you don't have a brim. It's a very different corner because it's flat. You can make up time in this corner if you get to the inside, but that outside guy gets pushed out. We saw Lincoln Lemieux gain on Tim Tremblay in this corner. Unfortunately, he lost that momentum. Tim passed him again, but watch this corner tonight.
Great stuff, Carly. You can see her in the background. Exactly what she was talking about was going on as she was speaking. That is a hard turn to negotiate to get back on the speed, sort of like leaving a paperclip.
And the way the track is built, you actually take a little jump, then you almost dead stick, turn, and then go into the back part, or that minefield, what we're calling the back part of this racetrack.
We've got 4 laps to go, and Tim Tremblay's got an almost 2-second lead on his teammate. Once again, it's Tremblay, Lemieux, and Corey Watkinson right now having a good night. He's running 3rd.
You know, granted, we had 3 of the big-name drivers involved in that incident. That allowed Corey Watkinson and Adam Renheim, Zach Patton to move out. But luck is a part of racing, too. So, Watkinson running 3rd, Renheim in 4th, Patton in 5th. Corin Todd in 6th, and then Tucker Hibbert. But there's your race leader, Tim Tremblay, counting down laps.
From Quebec, Canada, and he is on the point right now. Out of that turn, headed for the AMSOIL finish line. 2 laps to go for Tim Tremblay. It continues to be Tremblay, Lemieux, and Watkinson. 1, 2, 3. Great shot of your top 2 as they head down that front stretch.
Boy, Lemieux just launches it off that AMSOIL finish line. There you see the big Canadian, Tim Tremblay, out of Quebec, Canada. Like he said, racing up a little banged up after that nasty incident last night, in which he got together with Corin Todd for 2nd and 3rd in the final. Goes across, white flag out, 1 lap left to go.
Woo!
Big tail whip there for
Did
Lincoln
you
Lemieux.
see that?
He thinks he's on a dirt bike.
That's a Generation X move right there. Go ahead and give her a cross up in the middle of the air during a race. Down the back stretch he goes. Lincoln Lemieux still trying to chase that man, Tim Tremblay, as he heads into the final turn. Out of that ramp turn, towards the AMSOIL finish line, checkers in the air for Tim Tremblay, who will win this AMSOIL Pro Open qualifier. Lincoln Lemieux will come across in second, and a very, very strong third place finish for Corey Watkinson on the 173. We'll break, we'll come right back and talk to our winner. You're watching AMSOIL Championship Snowcross powered by Ram from Chicago on the CBS Sports Network. And they're racing in Chicago. Look at them lean on each other into the turn, but Kyle Pauline gets that stud boy hole shot again. And on the point, by the way, once again, continues to be Kyle Pauline. Out of that ram turn over the AMSOIL finish line, checkers in the air, and a kicker for Kyle Pauline.
Congratulations, Kyle Pauline. Is slower sometimes faster in these whoop sections because you have to maintain your rhythm?
Yeah, absolutely. With as tight as the whoops are and as steep as they are, like, you just have to take your time, because if you try to force it in there, like, it's very, very easy to get off rhythm quick. And what it turns into is the whole section gets ruined because of that. So you're not just losing time on that one jump, it's an entire straightaway. And with a track that only has 2 straightaways, that's a lot.
Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you, Carly. What a great run and a great win for that man right there. Congratulations, Kyle Pauline and that Levi Lavallee team. So there you go. Again, the first round of Pro Open qualifiers in the books, and it's in the starters' hands. We are about to go green. And they're racing in Chicago.
Boom, it looks like everybody on the inside kind of got a jump, but look at
Look
Corin
at
Todd
that.
on the outside. Oh,
Corin Todd with the stud boy hole shot, I believe.
yeah, but look out front, it's Tremblay.
Tremblay out
and
like a cannon.
Look at Lemieux, right around the outside of his teammate.
The teammates battles, they head for the AMSOIL finish line, and 3 sleds hooked up right in front of us. We'll talk about that in a second. Tucker Hibbert, one of them, but the battle out front, it's now Tremblay into the lead.
Down to the far part of the
There goes
racetrack they go.
Lemieux. Now look, that's Corin Todd right there getting on his
Yeah,
sled.
it was Corin
Ryan
Todd.
Springer, but
Ryan
Tucker
Springer.
is still not on his sled.
Yeah,
Here's the battle for the lead.
Tucker's got his tether wrapped up, finally got squared away, now gets back on the racetrack, but he almost went down a lap because of the fact that the Shearing Speed Sport sleds, Tremblay and Lemieux just about lapped Tucker. He involved in a 3-sled incident, got tied up and just shook free.
Not the way Tucker wanted to start round 14 after what happened in round 13. Out front, though, the exact other story. Tim Tremblay out front with Lincoln Lemieux right behind him. There's Tucker.
Right behind him, you know, Steve Shearing's got to be so happy with the way that these two guys work together on the racetrack. Granted, they had the incident in Michigan, but they're through with that. Now they're just out racing, and they are both racing very aggressive, finding great lines in the racetrack, doing a great job running 1 and 2.
Sometimes you don't see the true mettle of a team until they face adversity like that, Mike. They came through with shining colors, and right now Tim Tremblay chasing a lapper named Tucker Hibbert. That's your leader right there.
Hibbert looks over his shoulder. He doesn't want to go down a lap. And he's, you know, even to try to move up a position. He's 8 seconds behind 6th place Corin Todd. But your leaders out front, Tremblay, Lemieux, then Corey Watkinson, Zach Patton running in 4th. Then it's Renheim, Corin Todd, Tucker Hibbert, and Ryan Springer.
So your leader right there, Tim Tremblay, right now an almost 2-second lead over Lincoln Lemieux, his teammate. Talked to Lincoln Lemieux earlier today. He loves the technicality of this racetrack. You can see Tim Tremblay does as well. Mike, you talked about it in round 13. A track with this kind of technicality, with these kind of rhythm sections, somebody as strong as Tim Tremblay, it really works for him, doesn't it?
He is a big, big, strong Canadian. There you see a little bobble, but gathered it right back up. But yet you look at his teammate, Lincoln Lemieux, who's not quite as big in stature, but Lincoln says he works hard to stay in shape. And he went it so far to say the reason he hasn't been injured is because he's in such good shape. So it goes to show how important being conditioned as an athlete, and this Shearing Speed Sport team does that. They're great athletes.
What a great shot that was. Huge air for both those sleds. And by the way, Lincoln Lemieux trimmed a half second off the lead on that lap, Mike.
Tremblay out in front yet, watching the running order. Nobody really moving around here. Hibbert stuck in 7th.
Let's go down to Carly Applin. She's right by the racetrack. Carly.
This corner right behind me, this flat corner, has been a concern for all of the riders. They said in the last round you don't have a brim. It's a very different corner because it's flat. You can make up time in this corner if you get to the inside, but that outside guy gets pushed out. We saw Lincoln Lemieux gain on Tim Tremblay in this corner. Unfortunately, he lost that momentum. Tim passed him again, but watch this corner tonight.
Great stuff, Carly. You can see her in the background. Exactly what she was talking about was going on as she was speaking. That is a hard turn to negotiate to get back on the speed, sort of like leaving a paperclip.
And the way the track is built, you actually take a little jump, then you almost dead stick, turn, and then go into the back part, or that minefield, what we're calling the back part of this racetrack.
We've got 4 laps to go, and Tim Tremblay's got an almost 2-second lead on his teammate. Once again, it's Tremblay, Lemieux, and Corey Watkinson right now having a good night. He's running 3rd.
You know, granted, we had 3 of the big-name drivers involved in that incident. That allowed Corey Watkinson and Adam Renheim, Zach Patton to move up. But luck is a part of racing, too. So, Watkinson running 3rd, Renheim in 4th, Patton in 5th, Corin Todd in 6th, and then Tucker Hibbert. But there's your race leader, Tim Tremblay, counting down laps.
From Quebec, Canada, and he is on the point right now. Out of that turn, headed for the AMSOIL finish line. 2 laps to go for Tim Tremblay. It continues to be Tremblay, Lemieux, and Watkinson. 1, 2, 3. Great shot of your top 2 as they head down that front stretch.
Boy, Lemieux just launches it off that AMSOIL finish line. There you see the big Canadian, Tim Tremblay, out of Quebec, Canada. Like he said, racing up a little banged up after that nasty incident last night, in which he got together with Corin Todd for 2nd and 3rd in the final. Goes across, white flag out, 1 lap left to go.
Whoa.
Big tail whip there for Lincoln Lemieux.
Did you see that?
He thinks he's on a dirt bike.
That's a Generation X move right there. Go ahead and give her a cross up in the middle of the air during a race. Down the back stretch he goes. Lincoln Lemieux still trying to chase that man, Tim Tremblay, as he heads into the final turn. Out of the... And they're racing in Chicago.
Boom, it looks like everybody on the inside kind of got a jump, but look at
Look
Corin
at
Todd
that.
on the outside. Oh,
Corin Todd with the stud boy hole shot, I believe.
yeah, but look out front, it's Tremblay.
Tremblay out
and
like a cannon.
Look at Lemieux, right around the outside of his teammate.
The teammates battles, they head for the AMSOIL finish line, and 3 sleds hooked up right in front of us. We'll talk about that in a second. Tucker Hibbert, one of them, but the battle out front, it's now Tremblay into the lead.
Down to the far part of the
There goes
racetrack they go.
Lemieux. Now look, that's Corin Todd right there getting on his
Yeah,
sled.
it was Corin
Ryan
Todd,
Springer, but
Ryan
Tucker
Springer.
is still not on his sled.
Yeah,
Here's the battle for the lead.
Tucker's got his tether wrapped up, finally got squared away, now gets back on the racetrack, but he almost went down a lap because of the fact that the Shearing Speed Sports sleds, Tremblay and Lemieux, just about lapped Tucker. He involved in a 3-sled incident, got tied up, and just shook free.
Not the way Tucker wanted to start round 14 after what happened in round 13. Out front, though, the exact other story. Tim Tremblay out front with Lincoln Lemieux right behind him. There's Tucker.
Right behind him, you know. Steve Shearing's got to be so happy with the way that these 2 guys work together on the racetrack. Granted, they had the incident in Michigan, but they're through with that. Now they're just out racing, and they are both racing very aggressive, finding great lines in the racetrack, doing a great job running 1 and 2.
Sometimes you don't see the true mettle of a team until they face adversity like that, Mike. They came through with shining colors, and right now Tim Tremblay chasing a lapper named Tucker Hibbert. That's your leader right there.
Hibbert looks over his shoulder. He doesn't want to go down a lap. And he's, you know, even to try to move up a position, he's 8 seconds behind 6th place Corin Todd. But your leaders out front, Tremblay, Lemieux, then Corey Watkinson, Zach Patton running in 4th. Then it's Renheim, Corin Todd, Tucker Hibbert, and Ryan Springer.
So your leader right there, Tim Tremblay, right now an almost 2-second lead over Lincoln Lemieux, his teammate. Talked to Lincoln Lemieux earlier today. He loves the technicality of this racetrack. You can see Tim Tremblay does as well. Mike, you talked about it in round 13. A track with this kind of technicality, with these kind of rhythm sections, somebody as strong as Tim Tremblay, it really works for him, doesn't it?
He is a big, strong Canadian. There you see a little bobble, but gathered it right back up. But yet you look at his teammate, Lincoln Lemieux, who's not quite as big in stature, but Lincoln says he works hard to stay in shape. And he went so far to say the reason he hasn't been injured is because he's in such good shape. So it goes to show how important being conditioned as an athlete, and this shearing speed sport team does that. They're great athletes.
What a great shot that was. Huge air for both those sleds. And by the way, Lincoln Lemieux trimmed a half second off the lead on that lap, Mike.
Tremblay out in front yet, watching the running order. Nobody really moving around here. Hibbert stuck in 7th.
Let's go down to Carly Applin. She's right by the racetrack. Carly.
This corner right behind me, this flat corner, has been a concern for all of the riders. They said in the last round you don't have a brim. It's a very different corner because it's flat. You can make up time in this corner if you get to the inside, but that outside guy gets pushed out. We saw Lincoln Lemieux gain on Tim Tremblay in this corner. Unfortunately, he lost that momentum. Tim passed him again, but watch this corner tonight.
Great stuff, Carly. You can see her in the background. Exactly what she was talking about was going on as she was speaking. That is a hard turn to negotiate to get back on the speed, sort of like leaving a paperclip.
And the way the track is built, you actually take a little jump, then you almost dead stick, turn, and then go into the back part, or that minefield, what we're calling the back part of this racetrack.
We've got 4 laps to go, and Tim Tremblay's got an almost 2-second lead on his teammate. Once again, it's Tremblay, Lemieux, and Corey Watkinson right now having a good night. He's running 3rd.
You know, granted, we had 3 of the big-name drivers involved in that incident. That allowed Corey Watkinson and Adam Renheim, Zach Patton to move out. But luck is a part of racing, too. So, Watkinson running 3rd, Renheim in 4th, Patton in 5th, Corin Todd in 6th, and then Tucker Hibbert. But there's your race leader, Tim Tremblay, counting down laps.
From Quebec, Canada, and he is on the point right now. Out of that turn, headed for the AMSOIL finish line. 2 laps to go for Tim Tremblay. It continues to be Tremblay, Lemieux, and Watkinson. 1, 2, 3. Great shot of your top 2 as they head down that front stretch.
Boy, Lemieux just launches it off that AMSOIL finish line. There you see the big Canadian, Tim Tremblay, out of Quebec, Canada. Like he said, racing up a little banged up after that nasty incident last night, in which he got together with Corin Todd for 2nd and 3rd in the final. Goes across, white flag out, 1 lap left to go.
Whoa.
Big tail whip there for Lincoln Lemieux.
Did you see that?
Yeah, he thinks he's on a dirt bike.
That's a Generation X move right there. Go ahead and give her a cross up in the middle of the air during a race. Down the back stretch he goes. Lincoln Lemieux still trying to chase that man, Tim Tremblay, as he heads into the final turn. Out of that ramp turn, towards the AMSOIL finish line. Checkers in the air for Tim Tremblay, who will win this AMSOIL Pro Open qualifier. Lincoln Lemieux come across in 2nd, and a very, very strong 3rd place finish for Corey Watkinson on the 173. We'll break. We'll come right back and talk to our winner. You're watching AMSOIL Championship Snowcross, powered by Ram from Chicago on the CBS Sports Network.
Look at Corin Todd on the outside.
Now Tim Tremblay chasing a lapper named Tucker Hibbert. Tim Tremblay's got an almost 2-second lead on his teammate. Once again, it's Tremblay, Lemieux, and Corey Watkinson right now having a good night. From Quebec, Canada, and he is on the point right now. Out of that turn, headed for the AMSOIL finish line. 2 laps to go for Tim Tremblay. Ramp turn towards the AMSOIL finish line. Checkers in the air for Tim Tremblay, who will win this AMSOIL Pro Open qualifier.
Congratulations, Tim. You always want these wins in the heat races, but it does make it difficult when you qualify in the top and you have a gate pick. Talk about that.
Yeah, you know, this year, it's basically if you qualify like first and first, you're going to get last pick in the front row. So it's pretty difficult. You know, we're racing for points too, but the final is really important for the sponsors and everything, so you want to end up on the podium, but getting that last place gate pick in the start is pretty difficult, so hopefully I can do it again and have a good O shot in the final.
interesting season for you. We see you battling with your teammate a lot out there. Do you feel him right behind you? Do you guys talk about that a lot? It's a unique season where you find you two battling.
Well, yeah, for sure, Lincoln is a really good guy, and I'm trying to help him. And this year's running really good, so it's fun for both of us, and it's good for the team.
Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you, Carly. Great win for Tim Tremblay and for that entire team. We'll break. We'll come right back. It's time for the Pro Lite Final from Chicago. This is AMSOIL Championship Snowcross powered by Ram on the CBS Sports Network. And they're racing in Chicago. Into the turn they go.
Cole Coutu on the inside got cut off a little bit there. That's Tyfair. And look at the RD Cats in the middle. That red plate, that's the 765 of Montana Jessen. Look who charges hard. That is the...
is that Cole Coutu?
That is Cole Coutu.
You're right.
He fell back and then just found another gear and moved out front. But here comes Montana Jess.
Montana Jess with the stud boy hole shot, but he lost it right away to Cole Coutu. He wants it back, Mike. They get into each other a bit right there in that turn.
Boy, Coutu landed hard. You seen his head snap there. Was able to hold on, made a little bit of contact with Montana Jess, and these guys going down the back part of the racetrack, like I said, it is like a minefield. You just need to make sure you find your lines and that you've got good landings so that you don't get kicked off.
Montana Jess has been great all year, and there he is up front again. Great camera shot as these sleds make their way through that technical backstretch here in Chicago.
Cole Coutu sitting in second. Then you've got Corbin Anderson in that blue jersey, the number 17 Skidoo in third. Tyfair sitting in fourth. As we watch your race leader, look at how he preloads that sled, trying to get down into the corner.
He's got a preferred line, doesn't he?
He
You can
does.
see he wanted to find that outside of that turn right there, didn't he, Mike?
You know, and sometimes drivers stick with that preferred line too long and it jumps up and bites them. You know, in snowcross racing, to be good, you've got to be able to explore. You talk about the Blair Morgans and the Tucker Hibberts and the Ross Martins and these drivers. They explore. You'll see that they try different lines all the time. They may find a line that works good for them 2-3 laps, but then they know that it's probably going to go away. Look at Anderson take a little shortcut. He was off the track, didn't better his position.
He did not.
So he's okay.
Back out front, there's Montana Jess. Cole Coutu right behind him. Right now, I believe Benham is your third place racer on the 221.
That's the RD Cat. He's one of the top 4 in points here also, so points important to him. Montana Jess doing what he needs to do.
There's
Out
Max
front.
Tyfair.
Boy, Tyfair had a tough night.
He sure did.
They said that he had some shoulder problems, so was having a difficult time getting around the racetrack. Good to see him out here tonight. I'm sure he's racing in pain a little bit, but gathering up, knowing that he needs points to stay in any kind of points race.
4.5 laps left in this Pro Lite Heat 1 of round 2. And Montana Jess out in front again. You see the lead on Cole Coutu right there.
Looks like the middle part of the racetrack has worked into a nice line. Jess going over Coutu about a second and a half plus behind. Daniel Benham another second and a half behind. Tyfair, those are your top 4. As you see Montana, that red plate, 765. He is your points leader.
There's your battle back there between Benham and Tyfair as Max starting to reel in that third place spot now, Mike.
Outside, squares underneath. Benham, the 221 RD Cat, as we have mentioned.
3 laps to go.
There you see Coutu. Very bright FXR colors.
It was a battle from the Hayes Performance System starting line, but since then, it's been all Montana Jess. A little squirrely on that section,
yeah,
though.
He sure was. These laps are so demanding on your body. I mean, you're holding on so hard with 2 laps left to go that you get such arm pump from just squeezing so hard on the handlebars to make sure that you've got a good grip of everything.
Coutu reeled him in a bit there because of that bobble. Now it's a little over a second lead for Montana Jess.
You know, you wonder if these drivers are athletes. Boy, I'll tell you, all of the work that they do to stay in shape in condition, both cardio and strength-wise. So important, and a racetrack like this is very demanding on that.
The white flag is out for Montana Jess, and Cole Coutu pulled a bonsai move. They're still looking for the win here with a little over a half a lap to go.
Yeah, and about 0.8 of a second behind Cole is. You see him, he's close enough to Montana to try to sneak underneath. Just doesn't have quite enough speed. Boy, he ate roost all the way around that corner.
He sure did.
Look at Coutu, he had to wipe his goggles, couldn't see where he was going.
I think he realized maybe second might be okay right there after he saw that.
Now he's got Daniel Benham alongside of him.
And the checkers are in the air, and the win will go to Montana Jess, and Coutu will hang on. He'll take second spot just in front of Daniel Benham.
Boy, big win for Montana Jess, and probably even more so Cole Coutu after challenging for the win, just taking roost all the way around 1 and 2, couldn't see, just about crashed, got his goggles cleared out, and then Benham was right there. So good racing for all of these drivers in a great heat. That's as round 2, heat 1 of Pro Lite qualifying. Ready to go. 10 laps. Air Group Pro-Am plus 30.
This is a final. This is for all the marbles, and 11 sleds are ready to go green.
On the line, under starters orders, just about ready. And they are green. Down into the corner they go. Watch them as they all seek position. Boy, that's Richard out front. Who's working? Look at Rosemeyer.
Oh, man.
See you guys.
I'll tell you, I think Kurt got run into and something broke on his sled.
Yeah, back there he tipped, somebody tipped over, and then they've got another sled having a problem, and that is a Skidoo. I believe that is Bowerly. We'll keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, out front, Chase Rosemeyer, Paul Richard, Tingstead, then it's Meyer, Zimmerman, Adams, and Blunt. And there is Chase Rosemeyer. Rosemeyer out of Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. Boy, look at the lead he's got already. Just starting to pull away. 8 more laps to go. Where are they? He goes. Did you see that little double take as he looked?
Tell you.
Richards. There's Tingstead in third.
Man, look at Kurt Bowerly coming through the field in the back. As up front, the 675 Chase Rosemeyer already with a 5.5 second lead. He is checking out on this field in the Air Group Pro-Am plus 30 class.
Bowerly's worked his way back up to 6th place now, so we'll keep an eye on him. Look at the time he's running. He ran a 33:07. Rosemeyer ran a 30.7 that last circuit. Wow.
Their second place, that again is Paul Richard, then Matthew Tingstead right behind him, second and third. Somebody landed on Bowerly right on that first straightaway right during the first lap.
And I wonder if they didn't, like, you know, bend his handlebars or something like that. Yeah.
But he's already back up to 4th. We'll keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, there's the 355. That continues to be Paul Richard with Tingstead right behind him as they hit the Air Force flyaway.
Looking pretty sporty there in his race attire.
6 laps to go for your leader. Just crossed the AMSOIL finish line.
Think he's having fun?
I think he's having fun.
Down into the corner, just about ready to lap some sleds.
Over the Air Force flyaway. Oh, we got a yellow right there. We'll let you know who that is as soon as we see it. Back underpowered goes your leader. Inside a lapper there in the ram turn.
Trying to cut down underneath and get around that sled.
5 laps to go for Chase Rosemeyer.
James Blunt was the driver that had the problem on the back part. He's up and running, just so everybody knows. No problem there. Boy, Chase is just kind of, it's a big practice session for him now. You just put in your mind mentally that you don't do anything wrong. Just make good laps around here, and this win is going to be yours.
I'll tell you what, though. Kurt Bowerly up to 3rd and on the podium right now. And he's running a half a second faster a lap than the leader is right now.
4 laps left to go. That last lap, 33.6. Let's see what Bowerly runs when he comes across here.
There he is. That's the 3:18. Again, an issue on the very first half of the first lap.
Yeah, 32.9. So he's gaining about a half second a lap.
I believe that's second place right in front of him right now.
Paul Richard, he's about a second behind Paul. No matter whether he finishes second or third in the podium, that's a good run for Kurt Bowerly, who had the incident early on. Look at here, he comes charging.
That's the battle for second, and Bowerly's inside. He's going to have spot, and he will take that position. Kurt Bowerly from dead last to second place.
And not only can Bowerly get around Paul Richard, but Tingstead was trying to make a move around him too. Now Tingstead fell off the pace a little bit.
The race that could have been, I'll tell you what, Rosemeyer is checked out, but the race that Bowerly has had has been very impressive.
2 laps left to go.
There's your leader.
Still dicing and cutting through lap traffic.
Mike, you told me, I believe it was in round 11 maybe, but you said let's keep an eye on what Chase Rosemeyer can do in this class because he just moved up.
He did.
You nailed it.
You have a birthday, you move up a class. Like I said earlier, I said being the rookie in a class usually is detrimental to you because the veterans are so much better. Here, moving in as a rookie, you probably got a little more finesse than some of the veterans, and you can see that right there in Chase Rosemeyer.
White flag is out for Chase Rosemeyer. Into the turn goes your leader. You saw the GoPro sign. He takes a look over his shoulder. He's got a 12-second lead on Kurt Bowerly. Paul Richard still in third. Tingstead not able to get around him.
No, Tingstead fought hard to try and work a way around, but was unable to do that. Here comes your leader through the ram corner. He'll square away. The Amsoil finish line, double flags. Your winner, Chase Rosemeyer. Kurt Bowerly making his way down through turns 3 and 4. He squares, and I'll tell you, a great run for the 318 Skidoo. Kurt Bowerly will end up second, and Paul Richard on his Polaris third. Tingstead will end up fourth. Patrick Brodeur in fifth spot. Then it's Zimmerman, Meyer, Zantra, Adams, and James Blunt.
Good run for Paul Richard out of Caledonia, Michigan as well. Good to see him. Let's give away some hardware. Ryan's
We sure
ready
can do that. The Air Group Pro Am Plus 30. Let's meet the top 3 in the final here this evening. In third place out of Caledonia, Michigan, racing for FXR. Automotive Lift and Alignment, EVS Stud Boy, and also for C&A Pro Skis on the 355 Polaris, Paul Richard. In second place on a Skidoo out of Otsego, Minnesota for Fly Racing, Amsoil, Digital Inc., Skidoo, Stud Boy, and C&A Pro Ski. On the 318 Skidoo, a good run for Kurt Bowerly. He looks a little tired. Good job, Kurt. And your winner, out of Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, racing for Fly Racing. Also 999 Optics, Woody's, Arctic Cat, Fox, Amsoil, and Holla Racing, Chase Rosemeyer. Let's head down to Winner's Circle and Chelsea.
Thank you, Mikey. This is our top 3 here in the Air Group Pro Am Plus 30 class. In the third spot, Paul Richards. You've had a long day of racing, a lot of action and qualifying. Tell us how you feel up here in third spot.
Oh, it feels great. You know, it's a tough track. You know, I had a little bit of bobble in practice, but finally got it together and just had a good run in the final, got out front.
And who do you want to thank tonight?
Automotive Lift and Alignment, Polaris and Stud Boy for getting me out front, Davies Racing for all their support this year, and I got to thank C&A Pro Skis, EVS Sports, MoFlow Events, my wife, my kids at home. Love you guys, miss you, and anybody else I forgot, thank you.
Well, congratulations, great race. In second spot, Kurt Bowerly. Now, a lot of times, not to pick on you guys, we hear the Pro Plus 30 riders say, God, that was a long race. These are long races, but it worked to your advantage. Tell us about your charge to second.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm kind of plagued lately with getting through qualifying smoothly, and then something happened first lap. So I went down, I was last, but I put my head down. I think I got the track figured out pretty decent, but made my way back up to second, and Chase is too far gone. It would have been fun to run with him from the beginning, but just want to thank the team, Nate and Trent for being here, brothers at home, my parents and Jory for making the trip out, AMS Oil, Skidoo, WPS Fly, Scott, Stud Boy, Digital Ink, and the rest of the crew that helps us out.
Well, congratulations. It was fun to watch you, Kurt. And on top of the box, Chase Rosenmeyer up on the box once again. Since you decided to join the Pro Plus 30 class, how does it feel to be on top?
It feels good. It's great to be back at the races. I wish I could have raced all season, but it just didn't work out. And I can't say enough thanks for my parents, my little kids, my wife, for allowing me to come back and doing all this. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and to Scott Holla for letting me come back, and everybody at the Holla team, Arctic Cat, Fly, WPS, AMS Oil, CNA, Woody's, just everybody that helps us out. It's so much fun to come here with all of our family, and you can't pick a better sport to do it with your family. So I hope my boys follow steps, but if they don't, I understand. So.
Well, congratulations, Chase. It was fun to watch you again today, and we're going to send it back to the booth because it's Champ 120 sleds up next.
Mike, it's almost time for the recreational motorsports 120 champs 6 through 12-year-olds.
It'll be interesting to watch. Can Chase Rosenmeyer's win give Tucker Holla a little incentive to win here in the recreational motorsports?
I'm sorry, who?
Champ 120. Tucker Holla. Tucker Holla.
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you. Thank you.
We're supposed to do this in harmony, aren't we?
You ready?
Holla. Are you going high or low?
Probably both.
Okay.
Tucker Holla. You went low.
Very good.
Good job.
I know, that's fine. I was waiting for somebody else.
Lawson Sterry, Logan Schlotteroff back there,
Martinson.
15 sleds.
And Carmen Melro will not be in the heat here in this final. Grady Getzky will be the other qualifier that will be here. So it's a great field. Cole, Holla, Schlotteroff, Dillon, Barry, Freeland, Lossing, Zimmerman, Cook, and Juring in that front row. We got Iceman doing handstands.
We got all kinds of things going on. And I tell you, if you're new to AMS Oil Championship Snowcross powered by Ram, first of all, welcome. Second of all, thank you for coming here. And third, you are in for a treat. What we said is what we meant. 6 through 12-year-olds on 120 sleds that are a tad bit modified.
Tad bit.
And they're about to go 5 laps on this giant racetrack.
Uh-oh.
It's in the starters' hands. Get ready to be entertained. And they're racing in Chicago.
Oh, whole shot on the inside. I think that's one of the Schlotteroff or Freeland's machine.
Oh, they're hooked up.
Oh, man. That's
Nice
right. What a
save.
save. That is the 747, your number 1 qualifier. Cameron Cole had the huge save.
And look at Brady Freeland out front. I saw the whole Freeland crew. They brought me some free garb. I had it on earlier this morning, and now he's out front. Maybe I'm their good luck charm.
So it's Freeland, Martinson, Cole.
Tyler Martinson to the inside looks to take the lead, Mike. It is a virtual drag race on the drag strip.
Tyler Martinson in his qualifying heats was all over this racetrack. They're trying to get that sled squared away down below. That's Cody Cook. He's back underway so they can pull the yellows in from this corner. Let's line them up as they come back down.
I think Martinson is now your leader.
Yeah, and Cameron Cole right behind him. Look at Cole work the outside. Comes back out underneath.
What a move!
That was a power move.
Cameron Cole to the lead, but Tyler Martinson ain't having any more of that. He's coming right back.
The guy found another gear. How did Cole get underneath him like that?
It's Cole, Martinson, Freeland, Carson, Barry, and Hunter Lossie.
Then you've got Dillon Schlotteroff. Tucker Holla back in 8th place. Didn't get a good hole shot at all and has been fighting traffic, but up front, Cameron Cole made a pass on the last lap here.
Wow,
and now just starting to pull away.
The battle for second is serious back there. Look at these 4 sleds.
That's Martinson. Right behind is Brady Freeland and Carson Barry.
That's the battle for second and the last spot on the podium. And that guy right now is Brady Freeland. But this one is far from over with 2 laps to go, Mike.
2 to go, yep. And Martinson has had problems in this part of the racetrack. Look at this. That's Carson Berry working the outside.
Let them know you're loving it, fans. They can hear you in those helmets.
Gets around Freeland. Oh,
no!
Contact,
and they're both down.
Look at Freeland. Freeland's back on the sled already. 158.
That's Carson Berry. He gets right back on his sled as well.
He almost makes contact with Lawson Sterry.
Let's take a look at what happened, Mike. Break this down.
Watch them when they come in. They're both coming in a little hot, little rubbing. Oh, he tried to come underneath. Flat turn. Back end just slid out from underneath him. Turned the opposite way, lost control. Over he went. Now, the interesting thing is that Freeland's sled stayed on its skis. He was able to jump right on and take off.
With 1 lap to go, it's Cameron Cole, Tyler Martinson, and Creighton Dillon. Brady Freeland trying to find his way back onto the podium, but right now, it's Cole, Martinson, and Dillon. With that young man having a 5-second lead after he made that bonsai move, he has been on a mission. Is this the battle for second?
Yeah, that's Martinson right there. And that is
Creighton Dillon
right behind him.
And the checker's about to fly.
Out of that last corner.
Here he comes. Flames in the air, and the win goes to Cameron Cole.
Look at that.
But look at the battle for second, Mike.
I'll tell you what, Dillon parked him. Dillon just got underneath Martinson and parked him.
Wow, what a race. Creighton Dillon will come across in second. Tyler Martinson in third. And then Brady Freeland will hold on for fourth. Tucker Halla in fifth. Adam Schlotteroff, then Logan Schlotteroff, sixth and seventh. Brock Jurnick is in 8th, Hunter Lassie in 9th, Lawson Sterry in 10th.
120 guys down there taking their helmets off, high-fiving and everything. You guys want to lift them over the wall there. Let's give out some hardware for the recreational motorsport 120 champ 6 to 12-year-old class.
And after we give them their hardware, we're going to give something special away as well.
We are. Josie was up here talking about it just a little bit, so we will do that. In third place, on the Polaris out of Port Edwards, Wisconsin, racing for Fly Racing, FXR, 999 Optics, and Terrace Custom Builders. From the back row, the number 13 qualifier ends up in third place. Give it up for the 136 Polaris of Tyler Martinson. In second place, out of Zephyr, Ontario, Canada, racing for Race Ready Customs and ATC Coro. Second place in the recreational motorsport 120 champ class, Creighton Dillon. And your winner from Medina, Minnesota, racing for Playstead Companies, ERX, Total Wellness Chiropractic, and FXR on the 747 Polaris, Cameron Cole. Let's go down to winner's circle in Chelsea.
Thank you. This is our recreational motorsports champ 120 class. What a final you guys had. Tyler, walk us through this last lap. I'm listening to the announcers, and they're back and forth, and they're parking people. What's going on out there?
I don't know. Me and him are just battling as hard as we possibly can for that second spot, and I'm just happy we didn't take ourselves out.
And did you have fun today?
Oh, yeah.
And who do you want to thank for your third spot?
I like to thank Get It Racing and Ryan, Brad, Danny for coming out today, my brother for pushing me, Fly, FXR, EVS, and anybody else I forgot.
Well, congratulations, great race. You want one more?
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Kyle.
There we go. Now we got everybody. The champions up here. In second spot, Creighton, the flying Canadian Dillon, up in second spot. You pretty much podium every single race this season. How does it feel to kind of show these American riders what the Canadians can do?
Good.
And who do you want to thank today?
Gaff, Maple Roofing, my mom, my dad, Matt, my mechanic, OTS, FF, Rockstar Polaris, and Gaff.
Well, congratulations, Creighton. And up on top of the box, how many in a row is it for you, Cam?
5.
5 in a row. And what are you going to do looking into our regional race next weekend at ERX and then the grand finale in Geneva?
Win.
You're just going to win. And who do you want to thank tonight?
My mom and dad, my Morgan, Taylor, everybody watching at home, the Fratalones, the Besters, and Eric Downs, Kim, Drew Freeland, Total Wellness, Zenith and Benton, and just everybody.
Well, Cam, you've got a huge fault. You guys should see this down here. They're all like, thank me, thank me, thank me. I'm going to send it back to you guys.
And they're racing in Chicago. Ross Martin with the stud boy hole shot. Out front goes the boss.
Boy, he pulled hard, that infamous pull the way that he does to try to get the hole shot.
Another terrible start for Tucker Hibbert right back there in about 6th, Mike.
Hibbert trying to work his way through it. Look at this. This is going to be a classic battle early on, though. Ross Martin, Tim Tremblay, these two have done battle time and time again. Let's watch these as this develops here in round 2, heat 1 qualifying.
Down the backstretch they go. It's Martin to the inside, Tremblay to the outside, and the race is on.
Now, down in the corner, you can see how flat it is. They just got done grooming.
Boy, that helped a lot for Tremblay to be the outside, didn't it?
He did. He tried to work as far outside as he could. Maybe he picked up some speed. He didn't. He was able to get around Ross Martin.
It's Tremblay, Martin, Renheim, Kyle Pauline, and Tucker Hibbert right now back in 5th. He's on the move, but Kyle Pauline is right in front of him right now. Not the best night at all for the T-Train, but do I even have to say it? Don't count him out.
No, at all. Tim Tremblay out in front. You see these sleds too. I mean, there's so much power here, throwing some big roost. And, you know, being out on the track during the opening ceremony, this is some wet, sticky snow again. It's not as bad as some of the other tracks that we've been at with conditions that we've seen, but yet you see these guys trying to pull the snow out of their goggles. It is tacky, and it's going to create a vision problem for people further back in the pack.
Tucker Hibbert looks to the inside of Ross Martin, going to try to take 3rd on the inside move right here. He'll square it off, and he'll take that spot.
Boy, Ross tried to counter back down underneath. Tucker took the line away, so Ross not able to move back around. Tucker Hibbert up in 3rd.
Let's set the field for you. It's Tremblay, Renheim, and now Hibbert with Ross Martin and Kyle Pauline rounding out the top 5. But Tim Tremblay with a 2.5-second lead is on fire.
And that's what Renheim has on Tucker Hibbert, too, almost 2.5 seconds. Not for long. Watch them as they continue to work their way around. We'll see if Hibbert can make up some ground on Adam Renheim.
There is your leader. Again, Tim Tremblay. He won his first Pro Open qualifier, and he's out front setting the pace here in his second one.
It is a difficult position to look at how you want to qualify. Like Tim said, you want the points, but you know that if you're going to qualify first, you've got last pick in the gate, and that can be detrimental here. But yet, points are so important. You see them out front. First place gives you 12 points.
There's 1, 2, 3 on your screen with that Jimmy John sled of Adam Renheim right now in 2nd place right there, and here comes Tucker Hibbert.
Hibbert sitting in 3rd, now about 2 seconds behind Adam Renheim. I'm sorry, about 2.5 seconds. Renheim's made up a little ground on Tremblay. He's about 2 seconds behind Tim Tremblay. So Tremblay, Renheim, Hibbert, that's still your running order.
Down the front stretch is Tremblay. Great camera work. He saw big air out of the Jimmy John sled as he tries to reel in the Amsoil U.S. Air Force sled of Tim Tremblay.
Just good, consistent lines.
What a weekend for that team.
Through the ram corner, he'll come back across the Amsoil finish line into that U.S. Air Force flyway. You've seen in the GoPro lap of the day how some of them were going huge triples. Tremblay a little more conservative now. He knows that he's out in front, got about a 2.5-second lead. You can tell the real veteran drivers how they just back off a little bit, just stay out front enough to hold their position. That's exactly what Tim Tremblay's doing.
The lead back up to 2.5 seconds. And we've got 4 laps to go. That's the battle for second. Renheim right there at the top of your screen. Tucker Hibbert at the bottom. That's second and third.
And the difference there, another couple of seconds. Renheim, big tail whip as he went across the AMSOIL finish line. There's your leader. Back through the minefields of the back part of the racetrack.
He's just so smooth through that whole section, and he was the same way in round 13, Mike.
He did, and now he gets up and he rails it around the outside. And if you remember, that's the line he took in the final when he got together with Corin Todd.
Look over his shoulder for the leader with 2 laps to go. Makes his way towards the Air Force flyaway. And now the battle for second has begun. Tucker to the inside. Back up front, your leader. But this is the battle for second, and here comes the T-Train.
Tucker just found all kinds of speed to get around, and look,
here comes Renheim.
Renheim underneath.
And a square-off job. Now they're going down the front stretch, and Tucker will take the spot. But Renheim not going away, Mike.
No, they're going into the corner here. Watch them as they come in. Renheim's going to try to come back down underneath.
Couldn't do it. Tucker Hibbert takes the spot. Carly Applin down at the racetrack. Carly.
Something Tucker Hibbert has made very clear is that he's always racing to win. We've watched him struggle out of the start, not getting these hole shots, which is very unlike him. He came into this weekend with 8 consecutive wins in the finals. He admitted that his reaction time is what's causing the issue on the start, not his sled setup. He said he feels very confident in his sled setup. He's going to go for that hole shot in the final tonight, guys.
He's going to need to, because that, I believe, was what cost him that race, plus a spectacular win for Tim Tremblay. So it went Tremblay, Hibbert, Renheim, then Ross Martin and Jake Scott. Kyle Pauline fell back to 6th there. Let's go down to Carly Applin with Tim Tremblay. Carly?
Congratulations, Tim Tremblay. Talk about those rhythm sections and how precise you have to be as you take them.
Yeah, you gotta be really smooth out there because they're getting pretty G out and pretty big. So when you do, like I did a couple mistakes, and then second place was just right behind me. So you gotta be really smooth.
You got the win, but you came off shaking your head. What are you feeling right now?
I feel I'm gonna have the last pick on the front row, so I'm gonna have to pull a really good hole shot from the outside.
Hard to celebrate these qualifiers for you, huh?
Kind of, yeah.
Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Guys.
Yeah, he should be happy. 2 races, 2 wins for Tim Tremblay.
I mean, it's a reality. He knows that. You need to have the points. It's a double-edged sword. You need the points if you want to keep going up in the points battle, but yet again, you know you're going to have a bad draw.
To go into starters' hands. And it is in the starters' hands. Up, we broke the light over there. I believe that was the 857 of Andy Leaders. He got it back himself. It's back in starters' hands. And they're racing. The 13 of Lincoln Lemieux got that stud boy hole shot, but he gave up the lead.
Todd just launches out there again. Lemieux with the hole shot, but then Corin Todd finding another gear, and out front he goes.
Stenberg right there too. Look at John Stenberg into second all of a sudden, Mike.
So set the order. Corin Todd, John Stenberg, Lincoln Lemieux, Narsa in 4th. Then it's Springer, Watkinson, Carlson, and Andy Leaders.
And they are bunched up as Lemieux makes a bonsai move into second spot right there. You got a yellow flag right in there somewhere. Couple of sleds off. And back to power they go. And Lemieux into second momentarily, but the battle is on as Corin Todd is on a rail. Second place in round 13. Right now he's setting the pace in this Pro Open qualifying. Wow, what a drag race on the drag strip that was.
It was interesting when they came through that ram turn, and we watch them again as they come down here. Stenberg was really making up some ground on second place. Lincoln Lemieux wanted to try a line, but almost rear-ended him. He took his line away, and that kind of dead sticked Lemieux in his battle going forward, or rather Stenberg in his battle going forward.
That's my favorite camera shot of the night, and we're seeing Peter Narsa trying to take that spot from Stenberg. That is the battle for third on your screen right now.
That's Stenberg.
There's Narsa right on his tail.
Narsa sitting in fourth, about a half a second behind.
There's Corey Watkinson, then Ryan Springer right behind him.
John Stenberg.
And there is your leader. That's Corin Todd.
About a 1.6 second lead over Lincoln Lemieux. You can see Lemieux there just coming into the frame shot.
The pride of Otsego, New York. Corin Todd on that 36.
Kicks up into the corner. Goes as deep as he can to try to catch that rail as much as he can.
Carly Applin down by the racetrack. Hi, Carly.
Guys, Kyle Pauline told me that sometimes slower is faster in these whoop sections. There's not a lot of space in between each jump. He said the sled's about 10 feet long. These in-between sections are about 12 feet. So if you go 1 foot over, you're already into the next whoop. If you go 1 foot short, then you have the possibility of casing it. No room for error in these rhythm sections.
That's so true, and we just saw that with John Stenberg, who's off his sled right in the middle of that rhythm section. There's your leader, the 36, Corin Todd. The lead is 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, Stenberg was sitting in third place, was charging hard for second. Going to fall way back to at least sixth place, depending upon whether or not Carlson get by him. Tough break for the driver out of Norway.
Again in round 13 at this same racetrack, Corin Todd was able to find his way to second spot and on the podium. And here he is in the Pro Open qualifier, and he is on fire. A 3-second lead over Lincoln Lemieux and Peter Narsa, who are second and third right now. 5 laps to go in this Pro Open qualifier.
You talk about this new Axis chassis. Corin really likes this because you're able to get your weight so far forward, and on a track like this where you've got flatter turns, that's very important to get that weight up front, off over the edge. You have to use less energy because of the geometrics of the sled. Just lets you move from a stand-up position to getting that weight out over the sled much easier. It shows right here.
Through the rhythm section again. He'll come around. He hits that Amsoil finish line. It'll be 3 laps to go for Corin Todd. There's your second place rider. That's Lincoln Lemieux. Both these guys, Corin Todd, Lincoln Lemieux, kind of a coming out season for these guys. Both of these guys have been fast all year long, dealt with their own injuries, except for Lincoln, who's been really strong all season. But we're seeing the birth of 2 young superstars, aren't we?
Yeah, Lincoln has been by far, a bit stronger of the two, but Corin Todd has had some great moments too. Looking strong here tonight. Down into the corner.
There's your leader, yeah.
Starting to click down laps, 2 to go.
Lincoln Lemieux, the 13. Just under 2 laps to go. There's your leader. Out of the ram turn, white flag awaits.
He's got quite a substantial lead now, almost 5 seconds.
There's Narsa. He's currently in third, and right behind him, Corey Watkinson, who's having a good night as well.
Yeah, Corey took a big face to roost there. Able to work the outside line, trying to make up a little more ground, trying to get around Peter Narsa. Out front, though, Lemieux, or rather Corin Todd, sitting with about a 5.5 second lead over your second place sled of Lincoln Lemieux.
Into the ram turn for the final time, heading for the checkers. And Corin Todd will take this Pro Open qualifier here in Chicago. Lincoln Lemieux will come across in second, about 4.5 seconds back. Peter Narsa holds on for third, Corey Watkinson in fourth, Ryan Springer in fifth.
He'll make sure that they're all paying close attention. Tell them to hold up, and then we will go green. And we're green. Charging down the racetrack. Out front, that is, I believe, the 725 of Cameron Anderson. And look at Lorenz. Nicholas Lorenz charging to the front.
Oof.
Boy, they're just all over somebody off in the back part of the racetrack.
I think about 3 somebody's off in the back of the racetrack.
And Nicholas Lorenz already out in front. Lorenz is your leader. Jacob Urey coming from the back row. He's your leader.
That's going to be a heavy yellow over there, Mike, because those sleds are still hooked together. They got them apart.
Yeah, the 113, that would be the machine of Adam Peterson. They back racing. So Lorenz out front. Urey, that's the yellow zone. Remember, they can't jump. Boy, they're watching that close, too. It's so hard when you're in a pack like this to check up and slow down. So it's Lorenz, Hunter Patnode, Jacob Urey, Jay Laura, Leo Patnode, Eddie Neubauer. Those are your top 6 drivers.
You see a great shot right there. Your leader leaning into that sled to try to make a turn, Mike.
Colton Lugert coming off track. You've seen him working on his sled. Evan Dowd, who had a good run in FXR 1 Sport. Man, sitting back in 11th place. What a day makes a difference, huh?
Lorenz, Patnode, Yerk. I should say, yeah, it goes Lorenz, Patnode, Yerk, and Patnode. That's why I got a little confused there. 2 Patnodes there, Then Dirk Roper. What happened to the birthday boy?
He fell back, too. He had an issue. Look at him. He's all the way back to
Jay
11th. Was running up front. Another yellow.
Oof.
Who's this? Eddie Neubauer, one of the sleds, and the other, the 993. That is the machine of Dirk Roper. So a couple of the drivers running up in 5th and 6th tangle. That is going to move the field up. I'll tell you what, welcome to sport. Lorenz out front, Hunter Patnode, Jacob Urey, now Leo Patnode in 4th. Anderson, Jake Giesman moves up. Evan Dowd, who was in 11th place a lap ago, now sitting in 7th. Giesman, your winner last night.
Is that Patnode right there? Is that right on the tail of your leader?
It is.
Boy, he has reeled in Nicholas Lorenz,
It's
Mike.
about 9/10, about a second behind him. Nicholas Lorenz, if you remember last night, struggled to get on the podium. Ended up in 3rd place. And look at this. Patnode on the skidoo is not going to be denied. Charging hard on the inside, trying to find a line around your race leader, Nicholas Lorenz. Inside he goes. Nope, too far away.
Hunter Patnode all the way from Heartland, Vermont, wants this win in Chicago.
Nicholas Lorenz, that red plate indicating he's the points leader here in the sport class. Put just a tad bit of difference between he and Hunter Patnode, but Patnode hasn't given up.
Looked like Nicholas Lorenz was just maybe taking it easy, knew he had a good lead, and suddenly there was Hunter Patnode. He's back on the gas now.
Yeah, that difference was about 9/10 of a second. Now it's almost doubled that, 1.7 seconds. So a little more breathing room for Nicholas Lorenz as they come across the finish line. Still Lorenz, Patnode, Jacob Urey on the podium now in 3rd place. Patnode, Cameron Anderson, Jake Giesman, Evan Dowd, and Trent Witt were your top 8.
Into the ram turn, headed for the Amsoil finish line. Now 2 laps to go for your leader, Nicholas Lorenz.
Finding good lines. Just had an off day yesterday. Couldn't find the racetrack, struggled, was able to take it, make his way to the podium, but not where he wanted to finish. He had to fight hard to get there. A lot of drivers looking over the shoulder as you see our race leader come down through the ram corner, transitioning. The Amsoil finish line, white flag, 1 lap left to go. Lorenz, Patnode, Urey, your top 3. Everybody spaced out. Lorenz so solid inside, works through the minefield on the back part of the racetrack. Oh, caught a big kicker there. Held on, squares away. Double checkers are out, and your winner, Nicholas Lorenz, the big fist bump in the air. 2nd place is going to go to Hunter Patnode. Jacob Urey, holding on for third. Then it's going to be Patnode, Cameron Anderson in fifth, Jake Giesman in sixth. Again, another exciting final in FXR Sport 2.
Great run again for Nicholas Lorenz. So Lorenz, Patnode, Jurk Patnode, and Cameron Anderson in fifth. And Giesman, Evan Dowd, Trent Whitwer in eighth, Caden Woody in ninth, and Eddie Neubauer rounds out the top 10.
Sponsored by Polaris, FXR, Jurk Construction, Great Lakes Diving and Salvage and Amsoil. On the 727, Polaris third place, Jacob Jurk. Second place, out of Heartland, Vermont, racing for Ingles Performance. Skidoo, 999 goggles, Fly, DP brakes, and also 4 Woodies. On the 208, Skidoo, Hunter Patnode. And your winner out of Kenosha, Wisconsin, for Polaris FXR SSI decal Amsoil, and also for Lawrence Excavating and Topsoil Service, Nicholas Lorenz. Big smiles. Let's go down. Chelsea, I'm sure you got some questions for these guys.
Lots of energy down here at the FXR Sport Podium. In the third spot, Jacob Jurk, you came from the back row. How did you do it? What was your secret?
Well, the spot that I had really wasn't all that bad. Right behind Nick there, he got a great hole shot, so I was able to kind of follow in line behind him and put me in a good first lap position. And I just tried to be patient and just buy my time, and started to catch on a little bit, but then he pulled and we were pretty much running the same speed. So, shout out to these two. They rode an awesome race, spectacular. Just pleasure to be racing with them and everybody else out here. I couldn't do it without the Lord Jesus Christ behind me. All that I've been through in the last month, and to get back up here tonight really means a lot. And also Factory Polaris, those guys helped me all weekend get dialed in, and huge shout out to them. FXR, me and Nick look awesome up here with this sweet yellow and orange gear. And EVS, Stud Boy, Mach 1 Graphics, Del Duca Welding, Bishop Designs, Stud Boy, everybody that's been helping me this year. Thanks so much. We'll be back at the top of Geneva.
Well, you got a week to rest a little bit, so rest up and get strong for Geneva. Congratulations. In second spot, Hunter Patnode up on the box. Now I want to talk a little sibling rivalry because your brother Leo races as well. What's it like back at the trailer?
It's not even anything bad. We share lines, and he helps me, I help him in spots he needs help in. And it's really just a big help. It's kind of like an advantage more than a disadvantage.
Well, that's good to hear. Now for your second spot, who would you like to thank tonight?
I like to thank my mom, my dad, my girlfriend, my brother, KYB, Skidoo, Ingles Performance. They've helped us out so much throughout the years. Everybody, just thank you.
Congratulations, Hunter. And on top of the box tonight, once again, Nicholas Lorenz. Now, I want to kind of start the silly season a little bit early. What are you looking at for next year as far as classes go?
I don't know. You guys will have to find out in Duluth.
Oh, man, just leaving that dangling right now. So who do you want to thank for your big win?
I want to thank Polaris, Tom Jr., Ben, Brad, Bob, Kyle, everybody there. Thank you very much. Tom Sr. for getting us started with Polaris. I mean, it was definitely the right step. FXR, Maximum Service Heating and Cooling, Gatsky family for letting us stay in the trailer. My dad, Brad Lorenz, Lorenz Excavating Topsoil, On Time Enterprises. Just thank you very much, everybody.
Well, congratulations. Great racing here in the FXR Sport class. I'm going to send it back to you guys in the booth.
I got it. Tag, I'm it.
Yeah, well, we both have our face full of candy up in here in the booth. Great job, all three of you.
And whoever wins this race gets a choice of either starting last in the front row or gets first draw in the gate on the back row. Last night, Andrew Carlson won the LCQ. He opted to go in the front row. Just about ready, 6 laps. Amsoil Pro Open LCQ on the line. Green we are. Down into the corner, charging hard. Stenberg on a Skidoo with that new paint scheme this weekend. Out front, look at charging inside. Once again, Andrew Carlson. Carlson won the LCQ last night.
We'll set the field for you as they hit the Amsoil finish line. Now remember, 6 in, 1 goes home.
Carlson, Stenberg, Andy Leaders, Jake Scott, Ryan Springer, Zach Patton, and Matt Pache, odd man out right now. Square. Boy, Stenberg wants to get around him. Look at Stenberg working the inside of him. All these guys getting inside, outside, and it seems like you get inside, you can just dig so hard. There's Carlson's teammate, Ryan Springer.
That's the battle for the bubble right there, the 51, and Piche's the man on the outside looking in right now.
Yep, Piche trying to get around Zach Patton. Patton under the number 99, Arctic Cat. That is 5 and 6. Matt Pache riding Dave Jonas's Royal Distributing Arctic Cat after Dave Jonas having a knee injury.
Pache had an issue, went straight off the track at the end down there.
That's that flat corner. Here's Carlson. He may have some engine problems or something. So, Carlson, your leader, Stenberg, Jake Scott, Andy Leaders, Ryan Springer, Zach Patton, and all of these that are on the racetrack right now have punched their ticket. They're in the final. The big thing is that winning position, the number 1 position. Between Carlson and Stenberg right now, Stenberg about 2 seconds behind. 2 laps left to go. Whoever wins this race again, remember, gets their choice of the front row or back row in the Amsoil Pro Open Final. Squaring around the flat corner, then through this part of the racetrack where they're trying to find a rhythm. You've heard so many of the drivers say speed is so important. White flag out, 1 lap left to go. Now the differential between Carlson and Stenberg.
The battle between Leaders and Springer right here. They're racing like it's the final.
Yeah, and it's only 27/100ths of a second between Andy Leaders and Ryan Springer. Well, it looked like Leaders may have had a problem down in the far end. Tough break for him. He's still underpowered, just ended up not having the drive he needed. Carlson will take the win. He's your number 10 qualifier. Then it's Stenberg, Jake Scott, Ryan Springer, Andy Leaders will be in the back row, as will Zach Patton. So again, Andrew Carlson's got another decision to make. Do I go to the back row or do I start from the front row? And if he's going to start from the front row, you know where he's going to be. That's evident. He's your number 1 qualifier. And how many times has he been number 1 qualifier? Winning both of his heats. So he shows that he's a strong, strong racer. It's just a matter of putting it all together in a final.
15 sleds ready to go green in Chicago. It's in the starters' hands. They're racing in Chicago into turn 1.
Jake Angove on the inside. Is that Coutu that's going with him? No, Travis Muller.
I'll go Travis Muller with the stud boy hole shot, and he's out front battling with Angove.
Angove works his way a little further out in front. Jake Angove, watch him now as they come back down across the finish line. It's Angove, Muller, and Elias Ischul sitting in third.
Muller's going to take the lead on the inside. Can he hang on to it as they make their way into the turn?
Remember, they just groomed.
Oh, great move, Angove.
Yeah, he couldn't make the turn. He got too deep. Gets in the soft snow. That's where you really got to muscle it around. Jake able to move it around a little bit more inside, takes the lead.
We'll set the field for you in a moment, but they're making their way down the backstretch, and here comes Montana Jess. Out of the turn, over the Amsoil finish line. It's Angove, Muller, Jess, Coutu, and Ischul.
Ischul fell back a couple of spots. He was up in third place, now sitting in 5th.
Oh!
So something happened to him.
Did you see Muller and Jess get together right there, Mike? Somehow, Muller held onto his sled after a bonsai move, but it slowed them both down. And Jake Angove really got away from him, and he comes out of the ram turn towards the Amsoil finish line. We'll set the field for you again.
Now watch as he comes across here, and watch this black sled on the inside. He has hit the button, and here he goes. Angove, Jess, Ischul now in third, Coutu, Travis Muller, Michael George, those are your top three.
Smooth and fast, and out front is Angove. You could say the same for the 200 of the Rocket. We'll call him the Viking Rocket. Elliot Ischel right there now in third and trying to hold off Cole Coutu as he tries to make his way forward.
Just finding lines. He looks like he's been patient so far. There's 10 laps left to go. Through the corner.
Heavy roost right there.
Boy, we actually put a GoPro on him for this race. It's going to be fun to watch that video. Through the back portion of the racetrack.
And here comes Muller behind him again.
And look at, he's right behind Montana Jess. He's getting ready to try to move into second place.
Inside look for the Rocket. Can he make the move stick after this section? He can. Jess to the inside, stays on the sled.
Boy, Jess, I thought was going to make contact with him, and that would have been detrimental to Montana Jess. It probably would have thrown him off his sled. Elias, I think, was further enough ahead where it wouldn't have affected him, but Montana may have had some consequences of that contact.
Things are about to get interesting, Mike. Jake Angove with a 2-second lead on the Rocket. Elias Ischel. But there's 8 laps to go, and there's almost no one faster than Elias Ischel right there. So Angove, Ischel, and Jess, the Viking is in hot pursuit. Again,
he is in the back part of the racetrack. That's not as much 2 seconds. It is, he is really reeled in.
Oh,
Jake Angove.
Less than a second now.
Well, somebody having a problem on the outside, telling him to go inside. Good move by a racer there.
And now the race is really starting to heat up.
Yeah, the Rocket has found his groove. He's really starting to reel in Jake Angove, just setting him up, waiting for where Angove may go, seeing what lines are working, what are not. He's really tried to cut hard down back underneath. There he tries it there, but he's not in a position to do so as of yet. Now he's inside, going back down the front part of the racetrack. Let's see what happens on the far end.
The Rocket has position, but he can't make the move there. Let's say it again. We're seeing some patience out of the 17-year-old from Norway.
Man, he squared up big time, too, and just whipped that sled around that corner. On the outside, back down into the ramp corner. Oh, Elias just strong, trying to go down underneath. Nope, not close enough.
But look at Jake Angove holding him off lap after lap. You can't say it enough on that either. Great run for Angove, but can he keep it in front of Elias Ischel?
Yeah, some lappers coming into play here very shortly. They just got around Grant Glashagle back in 12th. Look at Angove just really trying everything to get around him.
Great race into the turn. Ischel has to make the outside in move. Going to try to square it up right here. And the lead stays with Angove as we go down to Carly Applin.
Elias Ischel said he's using these races during the season as his training. He came into the season with an injury and he was out for part of the season. So he's again trying to make up those points and use these races as part of his training. He said that's why the last half of his season has been so much more dominant. We'll see if he can pull off the first tonight.
Well, he's running out of time. 3.5 laps to go, Carly. And Jake Angove is doing all he can to hold off the Viking, the Rocket, Elias Ischel. They head for the Amsoil finish line. 3 laps to go.
Boy, eats roost all the way around that corner. Comes across the Amsoil finish line. He goes outside, trying to find and duck down underneath.
He got underneath them. Now they drag race at the drag strip.
Oh, he had a great power move.
What a move from the Rocket. He used that lapper and got around him.
He never touched him. That was just a picture-perfect move. We talk about patience. And now I'm more of a believer that he really does have some patience on the racetrack.
Let's look at how he did this, Mike. Oh, great move, powered in the right spot, and found his way to the front with less than 2 laps to go.
Angove came up behind the lapper. He seen that was going to happen, ducked down underneath, then swooped back outside, made the pass. That was sweet.
So now it's Ischel, Angove, and Coutu as he got around Montana Jess.
Yeah, you know, Coutu was sitting there in 3rd place. He was about 1/10 of a second behind. 3rd place, Montana Jess made the pass. This could be a huge podium for the rookie Pro Lite rider.
So here he comes out of that final turn, through the Air Force flyaway and down the backstretch for the final time. Can he hold on to it for a half a lap more, Mike?
He's got 2.5 second lead.
Into the ram turn. The checkers await. The Rocket, Elias Ishul wins in Chicago. Jake Angove will hold on for second. And out of the corner for the final time, Cole Coutu crosses the checkers, and he'll take third. Another big win for the 17-year-old phenom. And we'll talk to him right after a short break. This is AMSOIL Championship Snowcross, powered by Ram from Chicago, Illinois, on the CBS Sports Network.